Welcome everyone to Mental Opt Bookverse. Hi YouTube family, Imade here, and welcome to Mental Opt Bookverse. Are habits boring and monotonous, or do they help us achieve what we want in life? I recently read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I found this book to be full of depth and practical techniques that we can apply to building a better habit system. Well, I also created illustrations using key content from this book, which I'll be sharing with you guys pretty soon. But before then, please do like and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the button in the right-hand corner below. Well, without further ado, check out my illustrations and I'll see you guys afterwards. The quality of our lives depend on our daily habits. Good habits make time our ally, as tiny improvements in our daily habits eventually lead to outstanding improvements over time. Conversely, tiny depreciation in our daily habits will lead to a decline in our lives. Nevertheless, we're quick to applaud defining moments without giving much credit to the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. The book Atomic Habits by James Clear elaborates more on the value of taking such tiny improvements and a step-by-step guidance on how we can build good habits and break bad ones. Atomic habits are tiny habits that are part of a larger system. Therefore, building good habits are dependent on the system we have in place. Having the wrong system in place often makes it difficult to change a habit or start a new one. The author highlights that when we have a problem changing a specific habit, the problem isn't us, but the systems we follow. Systems are processes that can lead to certain outcomes. To help us understand how we can create better habits, the author highlights 3 layers. First, an outer layer of changing your outcomes. This is seen with the results we want, also known as what we get. For example, losing weight, publishing a book, passing an exam, or being financially stable. Second, a middle layer of changing our processes. This is seen with changing our habits and system, also known as what we do. For example, going to the gym, studying diligently in school, or managing our finances better. Third, it's a deeper layer of changing our identity, which involves changing our beliefs, assumptions, and biases. For example, your worldview, self-image, judgment you have on yourself and others. While changing one or more habits might be desirable, we are often confronted with challenges to making the changes. James Clear noted, these challenges are due to either trying to change the wrong thing or trying to change our habits the wrong way. What is changing the wrong thing? Most of the time, we approach changing our habits using outcome-based habits versus applying identity-based habits. For example, for an individual who wants to stop smoking, saying I am trying to quit smoking when offered a cigarette is an outcome-based habit. In contrast, saying you are not a smoker when offered one is an identity-based habit. Research shows applying the identity-based habit work better than the outcome-based habit. Once an identity is adopted, it is hard to change. For example, saying I am a slow learner, I am not a morning person, I am horrible at math. This resistance to change is mainly due to an internal pressure to maintain the identity, especially as it relates to a person's culture, also known as group identity, and self-image, also known as personality identity. An important thing to note when applying identity-based habit is a feedback loop where identities shape our habits and habits shape our identity. In between these is the process. Since identity is crucial to our habits, how do we change our identity? The author provides a two-step process. First, decide the person you want to be. And second, be that person by achieving small wins to reinforce your identity. Babies aren't born with preset beliefs. Everything about us was learned and conditioned through experiences. Repeated behaviors reinforce our identities, and the more evidence we have for a belief, the more strongly we believe it. Therefore, to form a new identity, we need new evidence. It is important to note habits that reinforce your desired identity are usually good, and the ones that conflict with your desired identity are usually bad. The author divided the process of building a habit into 4 simple steps: cue, cravings, response, and reward. These 4 steps form a neurological feedback loop that ultimately allow us to create automatic habits. Cue triggers our brain to initiate a behavior. For example, you wake up feeling groggy is a cue. Cravings is a desire or motivational force behind every habit. And using our example from the cue of being groggy, craving will be you wanting to feel alert. Next is response, which is the actual action. And from our example, it will be drinking a cup of coffee to help stay alert. Lastly is the reward, which is the end goal of every habit. And from our example, you satisfy your craving to feel alert. Therefore, drinking coffee becomes associated with waking up. Our brains are reward detectives, and as we go about life, our sensory nervous systems are continuously searching for which actions satisfy our desires and delivers pleasure. For example, we brush our teeth not because we feel motivated to, but because of the feeling of a clean mouth it provides. Moving along, the author classifies these 4 steps into laws that can be transformed to a framework that can help create better habits and eliminate bad ones. To create a better habit, you have to 1. Make it obvious, which is the cue to stay aware of our behaviors. Some helpful techniques involve using a habit scorecard to help stay mindful of our daily habits and applying what the author called implementation intention. Here, you pair time with location in your behavior. For example, your intention is to learn a new language like Spanish. The implementation intention will be, I will study Spanish every day for 20 minutes at 7 p.m. in my home office. 2. Make it attractive, cravings, which consequently increases the brain's dopamine and our motivation to act and form a new habit. A technique suggested by the author is temptation bundling. Here, you pair an action you want to do with one you need to do. For example, you can organize your living space, a need, while watching your favorite show, a want. Another technique is using the influence of family and friends. We are social beings and are often influenced by our peers. Therefore, an effective strategy for habit change will be to join a culture where your desired behavior is the norm. For example, if you want to be in the habits of fitness, join a fitness club or a boot camp. If you want to read more books, join a library or a book club. If you want to be involved with music, join a band or a choir. Lastly, a strategy is to make hard habits irresistible. For example, in your financial habits, Instead of associating saving money with sacrificing, you see it as a form of freedom that would elevate your future finances. These kind of motivational rituals helps keep hard habits attractive. 3. Make it easy, which is the response. A valuable technique for this is to prime your environment with important habit cues for change. For example, want to exercise more? Set out your workout gear ahead of time. Another technique is to start small, such as reading one page of a book each night will eventually make you read more pages subsequently. Or studying a few minutes a day progressively becomes hours, which can lead to getting all A's in school and getting your degree. Or make it satisfying, which is basically the reward you get for performing the habit. You might be wondering, how then can I break a bad habit? Well, it's pretty much the opposite framework used to create good ones. First, you make it invincible by reducing exposure to the cue in your environment. For example, if you are trying to cut back on drinking, you should avoid walking by the bar you always pop into for happy hour. Second, you make it unattractive by highlighting the benefits of avoiding the bad habit. Most of our motives for a bad habit is to feel good. Therefore, reinforce your identity for a better habit while eliminating the bad one. For example, your identity becomes, I live a healthy lifestyle and smoking isn't part of it. Third, you make it difficult. The best way to break a habit is to make it impractical to do. One technique of ensuring this is by using a commitment device. This involves making a choice in the present to structure your future behavior. It binds you to a good habit and restricts you from a bad one. For example, actively entering your plans in your calendar and setting reminders reduces the tendencies for procrastination. Fourth, make it unsatisfying. Do this by having an accountability partner to help you keep an eye on your habits. You ought to recognize that despite the benefits of having good habits, there's still the argument that having habits could make life dull, filled with routines, and remove life's vibrancy and spontaneity. The truth is, habits do not restrict our freedoms, they create it. People without a good handle on their habits have the least amount of freedom. Applying useful techniques to building a better habit in the present allows you to do more of what you want in the future. Now, that's freedom. And welcome back. Overall, what I appreciated about the book Atomic Habits was its emphasis on research-based techniques that we can apply when struggling with a bad habit or when we are working towards creating a better one. If you do enjoy my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. I also look forward to reading your comments below. If you've read the book Atomic Habits, I would love to hear your opinions on what you thought about the book. Also, I would want to hear your suggestions on the kind of non-fiction books you would want me to make a video summary on. Until then, be well, my friends, and remember, keep your mental up.